Welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday. Today,
The Windy City,
the White City.
a creator's guide to Chicago.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen, and welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday, where we travel somewhat today, but we do something different, something fun. We sometimes have guests, we sometimes play games, because we're not to work on Friday.
We're not working.
Yeah, 4-day week for us.
Woo!
What?
So today, we're going to talk a little bit about our wanting to get out. We want to get out. We want to travel. We want to go out and see some of the incredibly creative companies out in this world.
Yeah, one of our goals is to travel the world and see the sights, the art, the architecture, and that led us to, the third largest city in the world.
Yeah, the city of Chicago. Chicago is a city of art, of food, of music, of architecture. It is an incredible city.
Yeah, it really is a great city to be at. And you know what? Though when we go there, we're not going unprepared. We're not gonna go just wander and see the typical tourist places. We're gonna see what we want to see.
Yeah, and of course we want to check out those cool and creative endeavors. Some of the companies out there, like Energy BBDO,
Of course.
Tom, Dick, and Harry Creative,
Yeah.
Match MG. We're talking to you guys. We want to come out and see what you guys are doing. So invite us out. But until then, we're going to do our homework. We know exactly what we're going to go see, and we're going to kind of run that down for you of what to see in Chicago.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
Now, I've been to Chicago many a time.
I haven't. I may have been at the airport one time.
I had been there as a teenager with a dancing singing group. Toured around. I have been there. I loved the city so much that my wife and we honeymooned there.
Well, that's fun.
I've been there several other times because I love it.
You are a Chicago connoisseur?
Maybe.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Well, so here's some things. One, Chicago is a city of food. Delicious food. Chicago's known for deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the pizzas that I ate at Giordano's, it almost looked like, a casserole that just happened to have a pizza top and bottom. But you've got pizza like Gino's East, Giordano's, and Luminetti's. You can find unique eating experiences like the Purple Pig and this really cool one called Gayu Kaku, which it's like a Japanese grill with a big grill in the middle, and you put meat on this grill and basically grill it up.
You have to make it yourself.
It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
You've got high-end dining like the Gauge. You've got the Signature Room on the 95th floor of the Hancock Building. Beautiful, beautiful views. You've got interesting atmospheres like Howells and Hood, as well as the Elephant and Castle, as well as the Chicago House of Blues. Super cool. And then you've also got sports themes because Chicago's been known for a lot of good sports.
Of course. Well, recently.
And in the past.
Yeah, in the past, yeah, sure.
Michael Jordan, he has a restaurant out there that you can go and eat at, and it's cool. It's got sports themed stuff all over.
Is he there?
There's giant pictures of him. I think there's that one of him with holding the ball, massive.
But is he there?
I didn't see him.
He didn't greet you at the restaurant?
No.
Welcome to my restaurant.
Welcome to my restaurant, everyone. As well as Harry Carey's. Harry Carey was a sports announcer for the Cubs. Oh. Harry Carey! Hey, everyone! Come down to my restaurant! Harry Carey. He was spoofed in one of the SNLs by Will Ferrell.
Okay.
He's a pretty awesome character. Always saying the 7th inning stretch song and all of that. So.
All right.
And if you are just lucky enough to be there around the summer, or you just can't really decide on there's so many good food places.
Yeah. Yep.
There is the Taste of Chicago, which is basically a giant festival of food.
What we call it a smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord. They'll have activities and they have music in that giant park.
It's just like a festival for eating.
Pretty much. And you can eat all sorts of stuff. You can actually hit that up, and I think that's actually in July this year.
So
2017.
if those companies are looking for a time to invite us, July sounds great.
July is a beautiful
That'd
time.
be a great time, if you want to invite us to come and tour.
Now, Chicago is also a city of history. And because of how much history has gone down there, there's also a lot of fascinating tours. There's a lot of guided tours. There's self-tours. There's all sorts of tours. You're going to be able to see a lot of really interesting stuff. For example, the architectural tours are one that are super interesting, especially if you're into architecture. But even if you're not, a lot of the architectural tours talk a lot about some of the buildings and why they're built. And Millennial Park and all the parks that are kind of there, why Mr. Wrigley got that pass that he didn't want anyone to block his view from his building.
And so he said,
so no park, it's all going to be parks. You can actually get a guided tour of the underworld, the seedy and the underbelly.
Do they do the tour and they say, "Hey, here's and here's another place where the mob was, eh? See?"
Yeah, so they have the crime and mob ones. They even have one. It's called the Devil and the White City, which was a book that came out about H.H. Holmes. He was
crazy.
He was, I believe, America's first serial killer. It happened during.
Is this the house?
Yes, the murder castle. So during the Chicago World Fair, H.H. Holmes constructed this murder castle, and he was constantly building it. And there were hallways and windowless rooms and trapdoors and all of this stuff so that he could basically abduct people and make them disappear.
They talked about it in Sherlock.
They did talk about it. It was in It's been talked about in a lot of stuff recently. You can actually go on that tour.
That would be
kind of cool, right?
And creepy.
Yes.
That'd be cool. All right.
So Chicago is also a city of architecture. It's known for some incredible buildings, and their buildings are tall. They've got some of the tallest in our world. And you've got buildings like the Leo Burnett Building, the Fulton House, the Wrigley Building, some of those that have some pretty iconic stuff. The Tribune Tower, super cool. When you're walking by the Tribune Tower, there's a bunch of pieces of rock and stuff that's kind of just embedded into the wall. It's actually 149 different fragments from different holy sites, from different buildings, historical buildings.
So it's a building made of buildings?
Yeah.
Do they call it Incepta Building?
Incepta Building. So it's all embedded into the facade, and it has little titles saying what that came from. They've got stuff from the dome, from the burial tomb in Jerusalem. They've got the Parthenon. I mean, little pieces from everything.
That's crazy.
You've also got a skyline that just reaches higher than anything. I mean, you've got the Sears Tower. You've got the Waldorf Astoria. You've got the John Hancock Center, which again you can eat on a restaurant that's up there and it kind of overlooks Navy Pier. Navy Pier is a cool place to go to. And then you can even take in the breathtaking view of the city in the Skydeck Chicago. Now this is in the 110-story tall Willis Tower. And it's basically a clear little box that jets out that you can go and stand in, and
it's glass on the bottom.
It's glass, yeah, it's glass all around. So you can look down. 103 stories. It's on the 103rd story, and it gets your blood going.
You can say, "I can see my house from up here."
I can see my death from up here. It's kind of weird because it shakes you a little bit.
That's crazy.
As well, Chicago is a city of art everywhere. In the parks, there are art centers. There is stuff to be studied. There's stuff. I mean, they're constantly changing things out through the parks. One of the most incredible ones is the Art Institute of Chicago. It's been around since 1879 and houses some of the stuff that basically you learn in art history class. Wow. Salvador Dali. You've got. Oh man, I can't even explain it. I've got some pictures we'll actually show. We can actually post some of those. I even remember walking up to who's the guy that cut off his ear?
Van Gogh.
So they have Van Gogh's portrait, the one of him that he painted.
The famous one.
Yes, the famous one that they actually talk about in Doctor Who. If you haven't seen the episode of Doctor Who that deals with him, with Van Gogh, it is heart-wrenching and beautiful. I basically walked up to that painting and I started crying because it was so surreal and so beautiful.
Wow.
So they have just a lot of beautiful art in there, and if you can, if you've got 3 hours to spend, you can run through it. You can't see everything perfectly, but I mean, you can see a lot of beautiful art. You can also roam through the Millennial Park and all the parks that kind of go down. And one of the big touristy things to do is Cloud Gate, which is also known as the bean. It's the giant reflective bean that sort of reflects the Chicago city. You can actually walk in and under it and look up and take pictures of yourself, kind of selfies. I've got some pictures of that too. Wow. And then
why do they call it Beantown?
Beantown. And then basically the parks south of that, they have different pieces of art and installations that constantly are changed out.
That's awesome.
They have concerts and everything in those parks. Chicago is also a city of museums. They have museums after museums after museums. Of course, the Art Institute is one of the big ones. But you can find things like the Field Museum, which is one of the largest natural history museums around.
Wow.
The Museum of Science and Industry, which actually has a German submarine U-505 boat, which is kind of cool.
That is really cool. Like, it's like in the museum.
Yeah.
Like it's actually like it's not. I'm like I don't like Chicago. Like that's landlocked, right? No.
They also have the Apollo 8 spacecraft. Wow. So there's a lot of interesting stuff there. They have kind of this museum row that's over by Soldier Field that has like the Adler Planetarium. That planetarium's beautiful as well. It's America's first planetarium, which is interesting.
I consider the Earth's first planetarium.
That was super cheesy.
I know. I made it up just now.
And I'm also one that loves, my wife and I, we love going to aquariums. They have the Shed Aquarium, which boasts an impressive amount of 32,000 creatures, as well as 5 million gallons of water. So it is impressive. It's a super impressive museum to go to and scroll through. Chicago is a city of brands. There's a lot of brands that there, and because it's the third largest city.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to see a lot of brands, and a lot of those you can see actually on an area called the Magnificent Mile. Now this is a place.
How long is that?
I believe it's actually a little bit longer than a mile. I could be wrong.
Well, they branded it that way, so
yes. It's in between. What are the streets? I don't have the streets. But basically, it's this mile we can walk up, down, and this is where the Great Fire happened of Chicago, and so there's actually the old fire hydrants are still standing there.
Really?
And so they're kind of still part of that.
That's cool.
And so down that mile, you've got, all of the high-end brands, all of the things that you would expect to see in such a big city. And in just that one space, it's a great little walk too. Great like windows to kind of go through.
Window shopping. And
they also have 3 just massive malls, 900 North Michigan Shops, the Water Tower Place, and the Shops at Northbridge.
Do they have an H&M?
I believe they do, actually.
They probably do.
And you actually...
That's why I go to Chicago, to go to an H&M.
You go there specifically to
go to H&M.
Okay. They also have some creative agencies and ad agencies that kind of are right there. And
which we would love invites from.
Yes.
It'd be great. We work together.
And finally, Chicago is a city of fedoras.
Absolutely it is.
Bing!
Not these fedoras. These aren't nice enough to be from Chicago.
No, they're not, unfortunately. And this last time I went to Chicago, I made my own personal mecca to a hat shop called Optimo Hats. I was able to meet the owner's wife. She was lovely. I believe she was Australian. And their shop is beautiful. Their website's beautiful. I sort of was turned on to this by a coworker, and I made sure that I made it. I think I even was late for a class or something.
One of our bucket list items is to do a Fedora Friday episode wearing Optimo fedoras.
Oh, yeah.
That's the dream.
Yeah, one day we will own Optimo hats.
And then you'll look at these hats and be like, man, why did you wear that
Why
garbage?
did you own those old, dingy, nasty hats?
They don't even fit you.
So one day, Optimo, we will. We appreciate you and your handmade hats.
Yeah, if you get a chance to be in Chicago, definitely visit them.
Yeah, so that is our list of things to do in Chicago. Definitely a place for creatives. Definitely a place to have a lot of fun. What things did we miss? What other things creatively should we see when we're out there? Make sure that you let us know in the comments below, because we want to see all the good stuff.
Yeah, and this can be a forum for people who want to visit Chicago. They can come here and they can get a list of things. I mean, fill up that comment section with other places they need to go.
Yeah, as well, if there's a city that you would like us to kind of go through and talk about what you can do there creatively, let us know in those comments as well.
If you like what you saw here, check out that subscribe button. Maybe click it. You can find out about our episodes, which happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing to our videos.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more content and connection with us. Yeah. And to end this video, here is a video.
Chicago is situated in the Great Lakes region of the American Midwest in the state of Illinois. Rising from the edges of Lake Michigan, Chicago began as a tiny trading post at the mouth of the Chicago River and has boomed into a modern global center of commerce and culture.